A lot of NBA discourse recently has been surrounding one question: who is the greatest scorer of all time? LeBron James and Kevin Durant talked about it on their podcast with Steve Nash, and Paul Pierce recently declared that he was the best on live TV. While there's many players who are deserving to be on this list, I want to take a look at three specifically, and those names are Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and Kevin Durant. Without further ado, let's get into it. From impeccable footwork to mid-range mastery, there wasn't a shot the Black Mamba couldn't hit. His 33,643 points scored are the fourth most in NBA history, and he accumulated this total in one of the slowest paces the league has ever seen. He averaged 25 points per game throughout his career on 55% true shooting, and that's including a rookie year where he came off the bench and seasons post-Achilles injury, which left the Mamba as a shell of his former self. He took home 2 scoring titles in his career, with the first coming in 2006. To say his campaign this year was historic would be a massive understatement. Kobe averaged an insane 35.4 points per game, which is the 8th most ever by a player in a single season. Back in 2006, teams averaged nearly 5 less possessions a game than in 2025. If you were to adjust his averages to today's pace, he'd be putting up an average of 40 points per game. This season saw him put together 27 40-point games, 6 50-point games, and 2 60-plus point games. While it's incredible enough that he hit 60 or more points on 2 separate occasions, it's how he did it that makes it even more impressive. The first took place on December 20th, 2005, where Kobe's Lakers were matched up against the eventual 1-seeded Dallas Mavericks. They say there's no I in team, but Kobe might have proven that sentiment wrong, as he outscored the entire Mavs team throughout the first 3 quarters. In 36 minutes of play, the Mamba had 62 points compared to Dallas' 61. With the Lakers up by over 30, he sat the remainder of the game. If he had continued to play, there's a good chance he could hit 80, but he'd get this chance just a few weeks later. Fast forward to January 22, 2006, where the world would witness the second greatest scoring performance ever. In a matchup against the Toronto Raptors, Kobe erupted for a jaw-dropping 81 points. 55 of these came in the second half alone, where he outscored the entire Raptors team by 14. He shot 60% from the field and made 7 3-pointers on 13 attempts. The Lakers trailed by 18 at one point in this one, but thanks to Kobe's outburst, they flipped that script to an 18-point win. In the month of January, Kobe would average 43.1 points per game, and in April of that year, would hit an average of 41.6, joining Wilt Chamberlain as the only other player to have multiple months of 40-plus points per game in the same season. Kobe's 06 campaign was nothing short of spectacular and saw him take home the first of 2 scoring titles. His second would take place a year later, where he averaged 31.6 points per game on 58% true shooting. In March of 2007, the Lakers were on a 7-game losing streak and were on the brink of missing the playoffs. That's when Bryant put together 4 straight games of 50 or more points, including 2 60-point games within a week of each other. He shot over 54% from the field and 51% from 3 during the stretch, with the Lakers winning all 4 of these contests. In the very next game, Kobe dropped 43, which was considered an off night by the recent numbers he was putting up. His 4 straight games of 50-plus points are the second most ever, just behind Wilt Chamberlain, who had 7 back in 1961. From 2005 to 2007, Bryant accumulated more 50-point games than ones where he scored under 20. He scored 50 points 16 times, which is more than Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry, and LeBron James have in their entire careers. While Kobe didn't take home the scoring crown in 2003, he still averaged 30 points per game. Included in this was a 9-game scoring streak of 40 or more points, a feat that has only ever been accomplished by Wilt Chamberlain and Michael Jordan. This run came at a pivotal point this season too, as the Lakers' record stood at 23-23. With Shaq performing below his usual standards due to a toe injury, Kobe turned it up. Throughout the next 9 games, Kobe would average an astonishing 44 points per game. During the 2003 season, teams were averaging 93 points per game, meaning Bryant was accounting for nearly half the team's points during this run. And these weren't just empty stats either, as the Lakers went 7-2 with Bryant at the helm. He was so dominant at scoring the rock that head coach Phil Jackson had to tell Kobe to tone it down. He didn't want Shaq feeling left out of the offense and was worried that Bryant's usage would frustrate the Diesel. When it comes to the playoffs specifically, the Mamba made sure to leave his mark on the game. From 2008 to 2010, Kobe became the only player in NBA history to score 600 points in 3 straight playoff runs. In 20 years, Kobe redefined what it meant to be a scorer. He put together a season and a half worth of 40-point games at 122 and amassed 25 games of 50 points. He has the second most 60-point games ever and even holds the record for oldest player to hit this mark, which he achieved when he dropped 60 against the Utah Jazz in his final game ever. Kobe Bryant wasn't just great at scoring. He could do it from anywhere on the court, against any defender, in any way. At nearly 7 feet tall with a 7'5" wingspan, there's not much you can do to stop KD from scoring besides praying he misses. Through his ability to catch and shoot, knock down pull-up threes, and elite ball handling skills, Durant can score at all 3 levels. He is a 4-time scoring champion, and his 30,571 total points puts him 8th all-time in NBA history. He's averaging 27.3 points per game throughout his career on 50, 39, 88 splits. No other player in NBA history has this high of scoring numbers with this type of efficiency. He is one of just 9 players to record a 50-40-90 season and joins Larry Bird and Steve Nash as the only names to do it twice. What makes this feat even more impressive is that these 2 seasons came a decade apart. The first occurred back in 2013 with the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the second in 2023 with the Brooklyn Nets. Being able to put up high volume numbers on these splits is one thing, but it's another to span that type of dominance over a 10-year stretch. To further showcase just how ridiculous his longevity is, the last time he had a season where he shot under 50% was all the way back in 2011. Fast forward to present day, and he's still scoring at this high level. In 2025, KD recorded his 16th season of at least 25 points per game, which is more than everyone in league history besides LeBron James. And if we bring in the postseason, his scoring only elevates. His 29.3 points per game in the playoffs puts him 4th all time, ranking him above other NBA greats such as Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, and LeBron James. And his 3-year run with the Warriors was nothing to scoff at. In the 2017 finals, he averaged over 35 points per game against the stacked Cleveland Cavaliers team. Then, the following year, he doubled down, putting up just under 29 points per game in a 4-game sweep. The next postseason saw Durant emerge as arguably the best player in the world. He scored 45 points 3 separate times, including a career-high 50 against the Clippers in the first round. Unfortunately, he'd be dealing with a calf strain that sidelined him throughout the playoffs, and when he did make his return in his lone finals game against the Raptors, Durant would suffer a torn Achilles. Despite this, he still managed to put up 11 points in just 12 minutes of action. In 10 finals games with Golden State, Durant averaged 30.2 points per game on 54, 47, and 94 splits. But what really stands out is how Durant bounced back. Almost every player who has suffered an Achilles tear was never the same, but KD proved to be different. Upon his return, he'd finished both the 2021 and 2022 seasons averaging over 29 points per game. Not only did he make a full recovery, but he looked to be even better than before. To further highlight his return of power was arguably his greatest game ever. In Game 5 of the second round of the 2021 playoffs, the Brooklyn Nets were matched up with the Milwaukee Bucks. The series was tied at 2, and the Nets would be without Kyrie Irving, meaning that the team would rely on Durant to do the heavy lifting. He did just that, dropping 49 points, 17 rebounds, and 10 assists in the Nets' 6-point win. This spectacle made Durant the first player in NBA history to record a 45, 15, and 10 game in the playoffs. Elite 3-level scoring, ridiculous efficiency, and continuous dominance post-Achilles tear. There's no doubt that Kevin Durant is one of the best scorers the game has ever seen. At 30.12 points per game, Michael Jordan holds the crown for highest per game average in NBA history. In 15 seasons, he won an NBA record 10 scoring titles, including 7 straight from 1986 to 1993. He is the only player in NBA history to have more 40-point games than games where he scored less than 20. He is also tied for first place with Wilt Chamberlain in terms of seasons of averaging 30 or more, with 8. Jordan amassed most of these totals while hardly shooting the 3-ball, and did it on high efficiency too, with a career average of 57% true shooting. When it comes to the playoffs, no one scored the rock better than Mike. He holds the top position in terms of career points per game with 33.4. Luka Doncic is the only other player to average over 30. Jordan is the only player to have multiple playoff series averaging over 40 points per game, and he did this 5 times. In 179 playoff games, he scored under 20 points just 6 times, and is the only player in league history to never hit below 15. To further highlight his postseason brilliance, he has the record for both most 40-point games with 38 and most 50-point games with 8. That's more 50-point games than LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, and Wilt Chamberlain combined. In 37 playoff series, he outscored every single teammate and opponent except one, which was Terry Cummings in 1985, who scored just 1 more point than a rookie Michael Jordan. In just his second season, Jordan's Bulls were up against the Boston Celtics in the first round of the '86 playoffs, a roster that featured the likes of Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, Dennis Johnson, and Bill Walton, a team that is highly regarded as one of the greatest of all time. In Game 1, Michael exploded for 49 points, but it wouldn't be remembered for long because of what would happen next. In Game 2, Jordan scored a career playoff high 63 points in a double overtime thriller. His 63 points are still the most ever scored in a playoff game by a player to this day. While his Bulls would go on to lose the series in 3, he would still put up averages of 43.7 points per game, which still remains the most ever in a single playoff run. The next season, Jordan would continue to dominate and would average a career high 37.1 points per game, the most ever by a guard and the 6th most ever by a player. He accumulated a point total of 3,041, which is the 3rd most for a single season. Then, the year after, he'd once again eclipse 35 points per game and would take home his first ever MVP. He was also named the Defensive Player of the Year, making him the only player to win the scoring title, MVP, and DPOY in the same season. In the playoffs against the Cavs, he had back-to-back games of 50 points, becoming the only player to achieve this feat in the playoffs. He averaged a total of 45.2 points per game this series, which is the 2nd most of any series in NBA history, just behind Jerry West in 1965. But where Michael ultimately shined was the NBA Finals. Throughout 35 career Finals games, Jordan averaged 33.6 points per game, good enough for 4th all-time. He is the only player to score at least 20 points in every finals game he's been in and was the NBA scoring leader in each season he won the chip. In the 1993 finals against the Phoenix Suns, Jordan averaged 41 points per game, which, you guessed it, is an NBA record. From games 2 through 5, he scored over 40 points in every contest, giving him the most consecutive games of 40 plus in a finals series. Included in this was a 55-point masterpiece in Game 4, the second most ever by a player in a finals game. Longevity was another area that Jordan shined too. In 1998, he became the oldest player to lead the league in scoring at 35 years old, and just a few years later, he would become the second oldest player to score 50 points in a game at 38. When it comes to scoring, Jordan is in a tier of his own. Looking at all three of these players, you really can't go wrong in terms of getting a bucket. However, we are here to find the best scorer out of these three. After looking at the metrics and statistics, my verdict is that Michael Jordan is the greatest scorer ever. His high volume output, matched with his achievements and efficiency, place him over both Durant and Kobe in my book. He has the highest scoring averages out of the three in the regular season, playoffs, and NBA Finals. He's the only one on the list to have a season averaging over 37 points per game, and his 10 scoring titles are more than KD and Bryant combined. His total of 8 playoff games of 50 or more points is 4 times more than Kobe and Durant combined. With all that being said, the GOAT takes the crown once again. But that leaves the question, who's number 2? Durant displayed better efficiency and longevity, but Kobe's peak gives him the edge in my eyes. While KD does have the higher career points per game, Kobe's 06 and 07 season are both higher than KD's best. Sure, Durant has double the number of scoring titles, but Kobe has nearly double the amount of 40-point games. He also has him beat by a wide margin in terms of 50 and 60-point games, and even tied Durant's career high of 55 points in one half. Oh, and this is all with him playing in a more defensively driven, slower-paced league. While I can easily see the argument for Durant, the Black Mamba holds the advantage for me. But those are just my thoughts. Who do you think the greatest scorer is of all time and why? Is it Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Kevin Durant, or someone I didn't even mention today? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thanks for watching as always, and until next time, peace.